Don't stop your shoots.
That sounds salty, this Marcus.
Nothing. No, I'm just saying that was a good shot for no reason. I felt like it was a good joke.
I mean, wow. But I mean, I'm looking at this picture and I'm thinking to myself, because we are alive right now, and I just think about "Can You Feel the Love" from Lion King. I mean, this is all Scar really wanted.
It's
Scar
the
wanted to be
happiest
accepted
goddamn.
by
It's it's the
Mufasa.
happiest goddamn moment in the history of wrestling. I don't
Marcus,
give a damn
by
what
far the
anybody
best
Roman-
said.
moment of the week so far.
Roman and Jimmy look like a parent at Christmas.
Yeah,
While Jay looks like a jealous sibling.
Yeah,
Jay, Jay had the look of the year though.
yeah,
He'll be disgusted. I mean, he was so happy tearing that shirt off. So
Yeah.
happy. Like he was like, "Yeah, we doing this. We finally do it." And then when he saw all of this, the hug and the embrace, it was just the most disgusting look I've ever seen anybody look at somebody.
If
I ain't never seen somebody like the joke was on him.
if the Emmys gave a damn about pro wrestling, this segment right here should have won an Emmy for one of the most dramatic and over the top. I was on pins and needles, man. I couldn't believe what was going down. I thought Roman was shot. Let that man be in some more Hollywood movies, as long as Sami Zayn could be his co-star. I see it now. Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn in a buddy cop movie. There it is.
Shout out to the Bloodline for getting Solo some shoes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Manny, will you be getting these shirts? I can see you in this shirt.
Yeah, I think I want one of those shirts, and then I think we need to get Ross and Jamal honorary use shirts because they're on once a week.
Wait a minute, hold on. They're on just as much as Eric is on
Yeah.
a weekly basis.
So maybe
Except-
Eric should be wearing an honorary use shirt.
Well, no. Technically, this week I was on twice this week with my own show, The Shoot. Check it out, unboxing of a Steam Deck.
No,
I
that
won't
could've
watch.
been anybody.
I
just
didn't
saw
watch
hands.
it, Eric.
That's
I didn't watch
okay.
it. You know
Saw
why?
hands.
Because you never watch my shit.
You know what though, Manny? 82 other people watched it, and all you told me last week, all I had to do was surpass whatever ETE did, and I did that. So I feel accomplished.
Just don't understand how you did it. You just opening a box. That's all he did, people. It was
Marcus.
him flossing his money at you.
Betty,
He did
Betty,
nothing. He
Betty,
did
can you put a
nothing.
picture
He
of
didn't
Jay
bring
Uso
out
up?
Trina.
Because I feel that's
He
what
didn't
Marcus
bring
is
out
doing right
Trina.
now.
He didn't bring out Trina.
I don't think Trina brought herself out. Trina did not dress up for the occasion.
Nah, Trina, this is her afternoon outfit. Hold on.
Although that
Like-
Javinci shirt probably cost more than a lot of. The only one that looked like they dressed up was Layla Gray. I think that's her name.
I mean,
I'm fact checking that right now. Yes, her name is.
I mean, like Hogan is all right. She looked like, but she that ratchet Freddy just don't want to mess with. She looked like she could be Trina's cousin. That's there. God damn it, Wes is gonna have another bootleg shirt. Manny, should we just start the opening so we can get Marcus back so he can go to sleep, so he can go to work and let the hate be in his dreams.
yeah, let's do this.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Sharpshooters. I am Eric.
I'm Lord Manny McDuck.
Oh God, you've married the man. Or
Hey,
you married
Marcus.
the duck.
Mark, I'm ready to go hang out with Scrooge too, man. I'm ready to jump on that bandwagon
Y'all need to
myself.
stop. Y'all need to stop, man. That's the dangerous territory right there.
Nah, see, I moved on from harvesting carrots to harvesting okra to now harvesting asparagus. I am
Goddamn
all
right.
about that money.
No. I guys, please. If you're gonna get I'm Marcus the grand finale, by the way. But I want you guys to please, if you do anything, get a respectable addiction. Okay, start smoking crack, huh? Play Pokemon Go. Do something ridiculous. All right, you ain't no coming back from playing with Scrooge McDuck.
I want to shout out Paper Tyler in the chat. He's already acknowledged that he's one of the ones. He has a one up in there. I have no idea how you do that in the keyboard set, but whatever. But also, I would like to do something that I would like to acknowledge the grand finale right now, because the grand finale last week lit a fire underneath my butt with his passionate rant of me janking it. And this week, Marcus, I put in work and we have things to discuss. From this week in professional wrestling, Marcus. This week in professional wrestling. You did this to yourself. I know you want to go back to sleep, but you woke up a sleeping giant, Marcus. And with that
being said, no giant.
let me just jump off right now and let me just start things up, because one of my favorite stories that happened this week is the fact
that a Metallica shirt. That's a Cody shirt.
Okay. It is, yeah. American Nightmare.
I don't know why I thought I said Metallica. I was like, well, how the fuck he got a Metallica shirt on right now? What's he about to do?
Triple H decided that he figured out how to use a phone call, and he's been tampering in a sport that has no tampering involved. He has made phone calls to.
Just lost Marcus.
No, I think he might have took himself out. Triple H has been rumored to have contacted FTR. Aleister Black, Shane Strickland, Marcus. He's trying to bring Swerve back, and reportedly a top AEW star. The reports indicate that it was Jon Moxley. I kind of feel like it was probably Adam Page in this situation. I mean, Adam Cole, in this situation, but I don't know. Marcus, I'm going to start with you. What do you feel with Triple H making a phone call, trying to get, as Manny put in the chat, get all his toys back to play with?
Well, that's the game right now, right? That's the game. No pun intended, but the game. His move is, why not bring all these people back? What are you doing over there? What are they doing with you? You want to fight in the locker room? You want to get bit? They got rabies over there, I think. Stay back. Come back over. Come on home. Come on, baby. Like I just got the whole end of the road speech at the end of that song, and Triple H on the phone talking about, baby, I know you cheat on me. You just don't care and all that stuff. When he going over all that, that's what Triple H was talking about. He's trying to get all his people back. And
question: How would Keith Lee fit? How do you think Keith Lee's feeling when he wasn't in the initial call? This is probably a Zoom call as well, where all of them are in the Zoom call. Keith Lee wasn't invited.
I would feel in my best opinion of Triple H, I think Triple H might not call Keith Lee because he wants Keith Lee to take care of his health. I mean, I think that Keith Lee's health is still a priority concern because, I mean, the man had COVID. On top of that, he gained a lot of weight, and I think he needs to work himself back into ring shape. And I think that was one of the reasons why he was put into a tag team with Swerve. Now, they did lose their tag team titles to a more popular team, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But overall, Manny, I'll ask you this question. Is, of the names that were listed, who would you want to take the bait that Triple H has offered with that invitation to come back to WWE?
FTR. They're the best tag team in the world. FTR. Well, I want to see the banger. As the boys were saying, banger after banger after banger after banger. I want to see FTR versus the Usos. I need it. I want it. It cracked to me.
So, yeah. I mean, Manny has opened up the door for a question.
I don't know where that went. It got weird real quick for Manny.
Manny has opened the door for a question I had that I was going to ask both of you guys because I was very curious about this. I kind of knew the answer already. Manny already said, but currently, Marcus, who do you feel is the best tag team in professional wrestling? Who is the best?
Well, Eric, if you want to talk about the best tag teams in the world, there's only one person who, one thing I have to say to you, and that is FTR, who holds all the belts in the world, and they are, must-see TV whenever they're on. The problem is they're never on the fucking TV. They're never on TV. They get 2 minutes, and the guns get to chew them out. That's all they get.
Manny, would you agree with Marcus' assessment that FTR is the best tag team currently in professional wrestling?
100%.
Okay. I mean, I think overall, I think they're very good in ring, but I kind of feel like for me, the Usos will probably be my number one tag team. I think that right now, FTR is elevated for the simple reason that Dax has been having some bangers on the single circuit. But I think he's dropping his solo album right now. But I kind of feel like the Usos, and that could just be because I'm on the payroll. Everybody know I'm on the payroll.
Andre and Outkast. He just went out there and was like, yeah, I'm a part of Outkast, but you know what? Check out what I can do by myself.
But we all agree that FTR versus the Usos probably be a very entertaining match if given the proper build in time, even without the proper build in time, correct?
Triple H, you would get the proper build in time.
Yeah. But, with that being said, and I like, FTR, and I like to imagine them in the Usos or the mini matchups of them in the New Day or even the Brawling Brutes who are or Imperium or whatever other, or even the Creeds, whatever tag team WWE tries to muster up. But, it goes back to the old adage, WWE don't give a fuck about no tag teams. At the end of the day, they really don't give a damn about no tag teams. And that's what I feel about that. At the end of the day, that's what's going to happen.
So, I did bring up Dax's single run. There's somebody else that's alluded to that they might want to pursue a little bit more of a singles career. The Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Gallows, have their obligation to Impact Wrestling has expired, and they have agreed to do some dates with New Japan Pro Wrestling. But however, they still remain free agents. Carl Anderson says that he wouldn't mind having a singles run in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is the current never open weight champion in NJPW New Japan. Manny, could you see Machine Gun Anderson coming back to being a singles wrestler, having a prominent role in professional wrestling, although he's been teamed with Gallows for about 10 years now?
He had a decent run by himself before Gallows in New Japan, before the whole Gallows and Bullet Club.
He had a good run at G1.
Yeah. Well, one time I think. But yeah. I just don't see any interest in them for me. Then they're comedy acts, really. That's all they are. I don't see them.
You don't want to see him back. You don't want to see AJ and his boys against the Judgment Day, and Finn's like, oh, you don't want to fight AJ? You looking for a fight? You looking for a fight?
As funny as that would be, I don't think I want to see it, because if you remember the feud they had with the New Day when it was like Doctor something and they took Big E's balls.
Well, that was Vinnie Mac's writing. No, this is under the umbrella of Paul Levesque and I guess Stephanie. I don't know who honestly is helping him book shit, but it would be a completely different version of the Good Brothers, just like it'd be a different version of FTR. They wouldn't be shaving each other's
I'm just
back.
I'm tired of seeing all these wrestling companies pander to the Bullet Club people. I'm tired of seeing it. The thing needs to end. I'm sick of it.
I mean, Carl Anderson was asked about the possibility of returning to WWE. He says that anything is possible. I could also see, when I read that quote, I thought to myself that, AJ with them reunited to go against Finn and stuff would be somewhat interesting. But the only reason why I would want them back in WWE is for my own selfish reasons. Possibly we can get new episodes of Southpaw Wrestling, which I think was probably the greatest thing that they did while they were underneath the WWE umbrella. Come on, Chad, too bad. Come on, we need that back in our life. We do.
That time they died fighting the Undertaker, though. Also fits in there.
I want proper storytelling on how they come back if they bring them back. I want Triple H to go back and tell me how they survived.
I want the Undertaker to say, I forgave them and I forgive them and their sins.
And they came out of the Shadow Realm.
Out the Shadow Realm, and they was resurrected, man.
Which one is the Shadow Realm? Impact Wrestling?
Speaking of resurrection, Triple H is still bringing back people who used to work for WWE. A former booker of Ring of Honor during the heyday when Punk, Danielson, and everything has been rehired by WWE. Gabe Sapolsky, he's being back. They don't know. He was booking NXT for a minute, and they don't know where he's going to be at in WWE, if he's going to be on Raw, SmackDown, or back to NXT. But Marcus, what do you feel about Mr. Sapolsky getting another shot with WWE being part of creative?
This is all more Triple H. I'm putting the band back together. All these people are coming back. Like, as soon as he bought Evolve, he had Gabe come in and he was working in NXT and stuff. Is this Triple H getting all his dimes back? I swear to God, I bet you this top superstar. You ask, hey, Triple H, who's the top superstar you trying to get back? William Regal. He ain't no top superstar. But that'd be all the people he want back. It'd be Joe, him, all these people that all the Triple H guys. He was just trying to scoop them all back.
Just like, Manny, do you think? Pretty much,
mess with me.
Gabe being a part is probably not. Like, we probably won't notice any difference, though. But, I mean, he was in charge of Ring of Honor during the heyday. Do you think that he could bring something else to the table? Because I'm not really sure what he did when he was...
I think he's probably just trying to get help for Shawn. Because Shawn Michaels has probably got a promotion after all this kerfuffle of the moving around the parts going around. So maybe he's going to help book NXT with Shawn Michaels. I think that's probably... It feels so weird talking about Shawn Michaels like this, by the way.
Well, you got to see Shawn Michaels with his lazy eye, with his cowboy hat, looking like an old mountain man, looking like a cracked out version of Brock Lesnar, stripped the title from Solo Sikoa this week, talking about it wasn't sanctioned. And I was like, damn, Shawn, you fell on hard times. You used to be the sexy boy. Now you look like old mean.
Has there ever been a wrestler that aged worse than Shawn? Shawn has to be the worst age wrestler in the history of wrestling, right? It has to be.
Drugs are a hell of a drug, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but they're normally preserving of some people.
I don't know. Scott Hall didn't age that well.
No, he did not. It's just that
it took him a long time to quit.
No, but see, the thing about Scott Hall is like once Scott Hall stopped doing drugs, he stayed at that one state where even though you were older, he started to look the age he was supposed to be. Like it just didn't work. Shawn looked like Shawn is like, ooh, like he's with a grizzled young veteran. That's why they had to change their name because he is a grizzled young veteran.
I saw Shawn Michaels on the street one day handing him $1 because I thought he was homeless.
So,
like, are you okay, man? I'm okay.
So
hope you get that eye fix.
This might sound like me talking about Triple H, but Triple H did a couple of call-ups this week to the main roster that I was excited to see. First, as announced on Monday Night Raw, Fight Pit is making his debut on the main roster, and he's also bringing up War Games. Manny, Fight Pit, War Games. Which one are you more?
Hold on, you can't call them call-ups.
They are call-ups, man, because they lived in the NXT world.
They're objects. You can't call up an object.
Nah,
wait a minute. I think on this show we once called up the parking lot of NXT. I feel like that was a call-up as well.
Marcus, the parking lot might be the only thing that can challenge Roman Reigns for his title. That's the only thing that can beat him. That parking lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that War Games has been a call up. I'm gonna agree 100% with Eric.
Yes,
War Games and a Fight Pit are call ups.
I just can't foresee something like the Fight Pit cake and I can't wait to get to the main roster.
Let me tell you, Manny, it was the Fight Pit, it was War Games, and it was Vacant all sitting in the same room waiting for the phone call from Triple H. Vacant always gets the phone call first. When War Games and the Fight Pit got the call, they was like, damn. And then he asked, can I bring my boy with me? They was like, no, you can't bring Thatcher with you in the Fight Pit. Thatcher has to stay back there. But Fight Pit, you can come up to the main roster.
The Cage family is happy in NXT. They got up. They came up. And when I imagine the Fight Pit being caught up, I imagine Kurt Angle hugging the Cage with those teeth that Thatcher had in his mouth that are no longer a part of his body.
Marcus, you know that the Fight Pit was in that room that Top Dollar visited with all that former WWE stuff that was used, just waiting to be called up, like sitting next to the Undertaker coffin. Was like, damn, I'm so happy you got drafted to the main roster, Fight Pit. We didn't think you was gonna ever see the light of day, but you here. You know, he was drafted number 2, a surprise pick, Fight Pit. Come on, man, gotta love it. Unfortunately, let's just say things in AEW are not going that well. Malachi Black.
Wait a minute. That's a slanderous take. They just had a $1 million TV gate. You know, they got good business going on right now.
Yeah, but the perception of the backstage locker room is not very good. I mean, you guys touched on it a little bit more, but Malachi Black came out saying that his mental health has been an issue and that he's taken some time away from wrestling. And he did indeed ask for his release, but he was a little taken aback that his mental health issues were leaked to the dirt sheets. And although he admitted that he did talk about them himself, he didn't like having private negotiations that were between him and Tony Khan being put out there into the world. Marcus, do you think that Tony Khan not being able to keep his mouth shut about private conversations could actually plant more deceit inside of the AEW locker room.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's Tony Khan that was able to keep his mouth shut. Tony Khan's being Tony Khan. He keeps the secret. He kept Paige a secret. He kept the death of Brody Lee a secret. There was stuff he keeps secret. He keeps secrets. He's good at it. I think it's an influx of all these WWE people he done brought in the back. Yo, Mark Henry's, yo, Big Shows, yo, Ace Steels. I don't know where he fits in there. The Pat Buck and all these guys that they weaseled in there. Yeah, he talked to these people in confidence about, Malachi Black ain't doing too well. Oh yeah, let me get on my phone and tell Dave Messer. Oh, let me go tell Ringside News or whoever else is out there fight for it.
Ringside News do not get any scoops. They steal everyone else's scoops.
They do. Yeah. They do.
You know what I meant though. I was just throwing up random people, but I'm just saying. I think Tony kept a secret. I just think it's all those people who, quote unquote, work at WWE that can't keep their fucking mouth shut about nothing. Everything got to go to the dirt sheet. I don't care. Just, shut the fuck up. I hate these people. I hate those snitches. Let wrestling be wrestling. I was happy of the refreshing surprise of Hayes this week, or Soraya, as I'm going to probably never get used to saying.
I will talk about that in a second, but Manny, there was also reports that many people believe, and I'm one of them, that CM Punk is done with AEW, that they are negotiating a buyout and whatnot, and not just done with AEW,
this on Thursday,
but done with wrestling. It's just a little bit more. It's a little bit more seasoned on that. And then it comes back to where Al Snow. Yes, I said Al Snow was dug up, and he talked about
Jesus Christ,
the media scrum, and how he says that it ruins the magical feeling about. You asked for this. You asked for this.
Hold on.
This is like when 9/11 happened, they went to Ja Rule for his thoughts of what's going on. How dare you come up with Al Snow on this?
No, but he says that pretty much.
I'm more curious what the head had to say.
He is curious about how AEW needs to stop doing the medium scrum for the simple reason that it does reveal the magic from behind, where Tony Khan will go and say, yeah, they had a good match. That's the way that I booked it, instead of having it happen organically. And then the question I have for both of you is like, if they didn't have this media scrum, would the locker room in AEW be the way that it is right now? If they'd ever had CM Punk eating that good ass cupcake, talking about, I don't need to be at work for that. Like, would everything be all right?
All that shit was still happening backstage. CM Punk just brought it to the table.
He put it on TV. He made it real. All right, he put it in public. Let me ask you something there before we go any further. And you broke this news to us about Al Snow reporting his opinion on this shit. Was this from the Al Snow podcast?
No, it was just an interview that he was at. Someone asked.
He's talking to Al Snow.
Marcus, be honest. If the Untitled Manny Marcus show, the Untitled Manny and Marcus received an email from Al Snow talking about, hey, I would love to appear on one of your episodes. You guys act like you guys wouldn't book him on the show.
No, I immediately respond with an email going, but what? And then I give him the Jey Uso look. Will he come on the show? Maybe, but I hope he knows he's walking into. He's walking into total disrespect. Total disrespect, I think. And it's not that Al Snow's done to offend me. I don't hate Al Snow, but I'm so sick of all these bum-ass old wrestlers talking their shit. Like, that's all these old people from the 90s and 2000s do. They get on their little podcasts and interviews. You know what? You want to talk about AEW cutting their medium scrub off? Why don't we cut out all the 90% of these wrestling podcasts with these old ass
Disco Inferno. No one cares about what you think.
Conan.
No, I like Conan. I like Conan because his comes with a little bit of pettiness.
All right, so
they all come with pettiness though.
Because Marcus want me to cut
out one of them.
I will not ask you guys this question, but I would like to announce that Raven, one of my favorite wrestlers, is being inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame on the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Raven was one of my favorite characters, him and Taz from ECW. I'm happy that someone is acknowledging Raven in their Hall of Fame. No, although Raven really didn't do anything outside of ECW.
No, that's not true at all. He had a hell of a run in Impact. He had a hell of a Ring of Honor career as well. How dare you? But how dare you? Raven belongs in the Impact Hall of Fame. He was one of the original TNA wrestlers back in the day. So shout out to Raven for getting in there. I mean, I guess it's long overdue, or are they completely out of names they can get? So is that what's going on?
No, and I know that both Manny and you guys are both big fans of Dark Side of the Rings.
Abyss in the Hall of Fame in there?
Who?
Jesus, no. Abyss.
I think so. I know you guys are fans of Dark Side of the Ring. The co-creator, Jason Eisner, said that it's not dead, but he's focusing on his new show, Tales from the Territories, that is being co-produced with The Rock. Marcus, you're giggling. Are you giggling because this is the news story that I dug up that you woke up for me, or are you happy to say that Dark Side of the Ring is not dead yet?
I will go on the record and say, if you have to go on the record and say your show ain't dead, and then you are focusing on a new show at the current moment, your show might be dead. And the reason it might be dead, because wasn't there a story about WWE saying like, well, fuck it. You know, you gonna talk shit about me? You gonna talk shit about me? Guess who gives you all your footage, Dark Side of the Ring? Guess who owns all that footage, Dark Side of the Ring? You sons of bitches. We're pulling all your content. And then they're like, please don't, Mr. WWE. Don't do that to me. And they're like, ha. What can we do to make it up to you? Tell us in the Territory, The Rock and David Awards. We're going to have them do their show. Oh, that works. You still get your money. We still get our money.
Manny, do you agree with Marcus? That's how the negotiations went for Dark Side of the Ring. It was like, yeah, this was going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, that's 100% how it went.
Marcus, like this is what you not gonna do is tell me what's going wrong in my company, because we got A&E biographies with our own slanted stories that are all positive, all comeback stories. None of them. We're not gonna talk about no Dynamite Kid on A&E. Wrestling is a great place with great people. I can imagine them doing Dark Side. I can imagine them doing A&E CM Punk, leave the entire AEW era and the medium scrub and the pipe bomb out of it, because that's the kind of shit they do.
So, Marcus, there is a contract that WWE has with somebody that might expire tomorrow. It's something that got us through the show so many times.
Pause. Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
Why have we gone a full 180 now?
What?
You didn't talk about news last week. Now we're talking for about fucking half an hour. What the hell?
Because in my head though, I have half hours for stuff that happened this week, and then covering shows.
I feel like you went to the homepage of probably WrestleInc.com or one of these various other wrestling shows and pulled every story that's on the front page and then started talking about it.
It does feel like that. When I'm hearing about fucking Al Snow, I'm going like, what's next? Rikishi's DUI story going on.
You know what? You did right. I found stuff that was interesting, and we're doing a show. Marcus, there's reports that WWE may be leaving Hulu. Marcus, we survived off of Hulu Raw for a long time, for 10 years. Do you think they're going to come back to the table with an agreement, or do you think it's going to the Peacock?
But why fuck with Hulu when I can fuck with Netflix? Why fuck with Netflix when I can fuck with Disney? Why fuck with any of these people when I can sell my brand to something better than this? Leave Hulu. Who don't care? It's gonna end up somewhere else. What? That Paramount Plus? Huh? What? Tubi? I don't know.
I don't know nobody who has Paramount Plus.
I know a few people who got it, and
the only reason I would get it,
bruh, you're missing out. I'm like, fuck.
The only reason I would get it is to watch Ink Master, but
that was the only reason for me too. It was like Ink Master, but then I had a heart attack, and I was like, I don't care.
So Ink Master was one. I wouldn't mind watching the new Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill show, and some of the South Park movies.
Interesting. Manny, I don't think it affects you at all. WWE and Hulu, correct?
No. Currently, WWE content is only on BT Sport, which I still think is the worst move they made in Europe, in the UK, because it's limited to not that many households. Because the subscription is ridiculous. I'm not paying extra for it.
Exactly, Manny. Stay who you are. So
word, Manny. Stay true.
That concludes all the news that I have this week. So now it's time for me
2 months later. Yeah, I'm paying for the subscription. They come out with some WWE's most treasures on there, and I need to see what AJ Francis.
I swear, I'll sell out for treasures. I'll sell out for treasures.
Wow.
I'll go all against my emotions. That's my favorite show, Eric. That's my favorite WWE
I watched
show.
a couple of them, man. I saw that one episode.
Randy's gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, what are we looking for today? The Goons jersey? I can't wait."
So
when Charles Robinson hold up all of them hostage for that robe.
So now it's time for me to move into the week in professional wrestling, where we're going to start off with AEW, then we'll conclude with SmackDown, where we talk about all that. So AEW had a really good episode of Dynamite this week, where a lot of things happened. One of the more highlights is the more unpredictable. We don't know where it's going to go, but Saraya, aka Paige, made her debut on Dynamite and Arthur Ashe. And my question is, can Saraya help the AEW women's division? You already have Serena Deeb, who is a very good in-ring professional. They brought in Madison Rayne. I still don't know for what reason, but they did. And now you have Saraya, aka Paige, who arguably started the women's movement in WWE. Manny, do you think that she's going to have a impactful partnership with AEW going forward?
I don't know in terms of the capacity how she can be involved, because allegedly she's not medically cleared. And then on her Twitter, she said it's all how did she phrase it?
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit,
Manny. She said just tune in to Dynamite. Fuck the dirt sheets. Fuck the haters. Fuck the haters. Fuck the haters.
So no one really knows kind of what kind of elements you'll be in. But I think having success in WWE, I think that puts her in a stage where she can help AEW, not like the likes of like Athena, who's come over. She's had minor success but hasn't really done anything since with what she achieved in WWE or NXT. So it's difficult to branch, especially how Tony books the women. It's difficult to tell how much effect she's going to have on AEW.
Marcus, I'm going to ask you a question because I'm referred to as Paige, Marcus. If
Paige, I still have the same.
Hi, Timothy.
Hey, Timothy. Marcus, if Paige was really healthy, fully 100% healthy, do you think WWE would have resigned her and threw the bag at her? Or do you think that she was just done with WWE and she was going whoever paid her money?
Well, according to dirt sheet laws or rules, Triple H tried to bring back Paige, but it was already too late. She had signed with AEW. So whatever. I don't know what dirt sheets means. Of course they would try to bring back Paige, but I don't think she was medically cleared. I don't think if she's not medically cleared, what can you do with Paige? And if AEW isn't going to wrestle Paige, they are in for a shitstorm from these fans, because that is a tease that these people wanted. You've heard that ovation. You've seen that pop. She came out there and people treated her like that was Steve Austin walking out to the ring, coming out for one more match. She got that Edge treatment at a Rumble talking to Pop. Like, oh shit, they brought it back. And if she don't wrestle, it is going to be one of the biggest disappointments. I don't want to see her in a Mark Henry or Big Show. Shut the fuck up, Siri. I'm in the middle of discussing something. I don't want to see her in a role like a Mark Henry and Big Show that's just floating around in the back and you don't know what she actually does. She will have to compete. And I'm hopefully she is healthy enough and she don't end up injured or fall into anything that can jeopardize her future. That's what I'm saying.
So, Manny,
and they put her in a situation. They were described as a wrestler.
So, would you be upset, like Marcus, if Saraya is placed in a situation where she's like just the head of a stable, or how about in a Stokely Hathaway situation where he's just like organizing people instead of being? Do you need her to wrestle for this signing to make sense for AEW?
For me, not necessarily. I think she has other things that she can bring. Like she had a decent run.
Got emotional on that, Manny. I thought she got emotional.
She had a decent run as.
I thought we cracked your voice.
She had a decent run as SmackDown GM, or help with the GM. She did have a decent moment with Absolution.
You bring back some stinkers, Manny.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I think she still has more to contribute because she has a personality, and I think that's what's lacking. I think someone of her ilk, Tony, would be like, "Oh shit, we need to take this more seriously."
And this is also, they have the new trios titles, and Paige is very good at trios, so it's going to be something that goes very. All her trios have been.
You are awful. You are awful. That joke was disgusting.
Manny, I was talking about all the groups that you just named. I wasn't talking about that ill-advised thing that she did when she was 19 years old. I was talking about her bad, pretty bad, and deadly PMS. I mean, she's always been part of a faction. Timothy Williams says basically AEW just takes released WWE superstars, make big deals with them, making them better in general. So yeah, WWE is getting a bit desperate for good people and good reviews.
I disagree.
I'm confused.
I agree, kind of, maybe. I don't know.
I agree with the first statement, but like making them better in general, I don't think so. Not all of them are in a better position since they left WWE. The only ones I would say are in a better position would be FTR.
Okay, so I would like to also talk about a very controversial move that
hold
took
on, hold on, buddy. I want to say this as a statement as well to go off of what Timothy is saying. I think in a general that these AEW guys, these people that Tony bring in from WWE, they start off with these big returns, and then they kind of just peter out. They just peter out. They brought in Cesaro. And then you know what? No longer the Ring of Honor champion. Lost it this week. Kind of just, just been around. Like I don't even recognize Cesaro music at this point. They brought in Andrade, treated him as a big deal for like a week. Then he just kind of just joined Matt Hardy and just kind of petered out. Malachi Black, they brought him in, made him a big deal, did the Cody thing. House of Black petered out right away. There's a lot of people. Sting and Darby Allin. Remember when they were hot on them streets? Kind of just, petered out. There's a lot of people who just go all the way on and on and on, and then they just kind of like just don't use them anymore. They just stop. It's like they're not the new shiny toy in town. And I feel like that's what Tony does way too much.
I think, Timothy, I would agree with you that Jon Moxley is better than Dean Ambrose because he's letting him be more who his characters. I'm going to talk about Cesaro in a second. And the last match he won was against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, which is probably one of the bigger wins ever.
He just lost to Chris Jericho.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. So let's talk about, they brought in Claudio Castagnoli. He came in, he defeated Jonathan Gresham, pretty much pushed the little man to the side, made him disgruntled and everything, and he became that, and everybody was like, oh my God, Claudio has his first title and whatnot. I don't think it's been 3 months he's held the title. Tony has decided that, you know what? I can't promote my new brand of Ring of Honor with Claudio as my champion. And this week, it was a good old-fashioned belt dumping where Chris Jericho is a new Ring of Honor champion, where I think they're planting seeds where Garcia will be taking that title away from him. Marcus, let's go. Internet loved Claudio being the champion. However, he's not the guy that can really sell that company. Do you think this was a good move by AEW in their Ring of Honor since making Jericho the new face of Ring of Honor?
Well, he got them their first TV deal, didn't he, with TNT? So why not try it again with Ring of Honor? And I think for story purposes, him with the title makes sense. And then Daniel Garcia beating him or whatever route they go down, this route, that makes sense for me. But I'm just upset that Claudio gets his first basically world title win. He gets his first victory, but he doesn't have a real memorable run. Like, he had good matches, whatever. It was nice. It was nice seeing him against Dax. It was nice to see him against I can't remember the other random people he fought. I think he fought Takashka and stuff. It was nice seeing it. What? I can't ever say it right anyway. But he had all these nice matches, but it wasn't a memorable run. And then, you're so happy that, he finally gets a world title, but it kind of ended real quick. It's abruptly.
And Marcus,
it's not memorable. It was all on Rampage.
I want to piggyback what you just said, because that was one of the concerns I brought about when it comes to All Elite in general, is that nothing feels meaningful. Like, these matches kind of just happen. Like, yeah, you had Cesaro. He had a great match with Dax on Rampage, but Marcus, you don't watch Rampage, so you don't see it. Cesaro also had other good matches, but in the grand scheme of things, there was no feud, no build-up, nothing else. It's just wrestling on top of wrestling. Is that a successful way to book a show, Manny, where it's just wrestling without any context behind it to make it go forward? Because that's what it feels like AEW is doing.
I don't think it's just AEW. I think Raw's doing it now as well. It's
they are
wrestling. I don't know. NXT, SmackDown was a bit like that as well. I think Triple H is leaning towards it. I don't know how much this will play off, because if they're expecting more growth, I don't think that's going to happen. Because obviously the casual fan don't normally like that stuff. They like all the wacky nonsense you get on NXT, which not many people watch in the first place.
So something that happened in AEW this week that really just it negated everything that took place is that we had that main event, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. We can argue who should have won that match, but at the end of the day, Jon Moxley got the title again. Throughout the entire match, they continued to show MJF up in his box with the chip that he won in that match.
I believe Ross means underpants. They're not wearing pants.
Then we move forward to Rampage, which I know.
Do you want to talk? Are we going to talk about the victory, or are we talking about?
No, we're talking about.
I don't know your question. This is the longest question you've ever said.
Because I'm about to get to it, because I have to explain to you.
Okay. I didn't know you were setting this up. I was like, is there going to be a question?
There's going to be a question. So as we watched that match between Moxley and Danielson, it was made clear as day that the number one contender for this title, because he has the chip, is MJF. However, you go 2 days over, you come to Rampage, and they have a battle royal that featured Hangman Page and a bunch of other random AEW superstars that we haven't seen. Let me give you, we had Brian Cage. We had Lance Hoyt. I can't remember.
Talking about?
Wait, Marcus. Let me finish. Marcus, let me finish.
Questions cannot be paragraphs, by the way. Questions cannot be paragraphs.
This is an essay.
I just want. They had Dalton Castle. They had all these other people. And ultimately, that battle royal happened, and Adam Page won. And now he has a title shot against Jon Moxley in Cincinnati. What is the purpose of MJF winning that chip if this person can compete in a battle royal with a bunch of random people and become the new number one contender? Manny, I'll go to you first.
Wait a minute. Is that the question?
Yes.
That was the longest winded question for that last sentence.
Well, you don't watch Rampage. You don't watch Rampage.
I understand what's going on, though. I missed last night's Rampage. I'm kind of up to
Marcus,
date.
you haven't watched Rampage in 3 months. And since you're talking, how about you answer the question?
But I am up to date on the Rampage activities. Just because I don't have time or choose not to watch a 2-hour episode of Rampage, I understand what's going on. You didn't have to explain to me that they're having a battle royal, that they explained to me on Dynamite that they're going to have a battle royal. Or what a battle. Next thing you know, you're going to be like, they had a battle royal where the competitors had to throw each other over the top rope to determine who was the victor of that battle royal. Therefore, ergo, this person who is the last person standing in said battle royal is the number one contender. And I didn't need all that.
Since you took all the time to explain what I just said, why don't you just answer the question that I asked you?
What is the point in the chip and the thing? I just don't think we should have 2 number one contenders. And I want to also piggyback on this one that both shows don't have stories. They actually do have stories going on in AEW. The thing is, we just don't care about them stories.
To be fair,
think about it.
The chip doesn't necessarily make you number one contender. That just guarantees you a shot. The fact that they need a battle royal to establish a number one contender to give Mox something to do before he goes on holiday and lose the title doesn't necessarily make sense either, because then they need to remove this whole ranking system nonsense as well for the ranking system for that belt. They need to just remove it and just let storyline happen that this person is the next number one contender.
Because that's my whole issue with, because they do have these rankings in AEW, but it seems like the easiest way for you to get a title shot is to win a battle royal in AEW. That's the easiest way. Like, fine or random, we're gonna have a battle royal this week, and now you get the challenge for the title. And that's what frustrates me. Then we also had like this match between Jade Cargill and Diamante, where I don't know where Diamante came from. I don't know how she got a shot at the TBS title, but she did. And then at the end of it, you have Trina, who was in the corner, in agreement with Jade Cargill. And I'm like, why did that even happen? I was like, okay.
To go the Timothy thing about I'm not watching Rampage. Rampage is a glorified Sunday Night Heat. Nothing of any importance ever happened on Rampage. Nothing.
Except CM Punk debuting, and then nothing since then.
Yeah, and then other than that, it's just a bunch of random ass matches. It's basically like watching WWE main event. Yeah, you get some decent matches, but there ain't no drama, ain't no story. Hobbs and Starks fought this week on Rampage. This was probably one of the bigger deal Rampage because it's a 2-hour long show. But other than that, most of these Rampages are just here.
Mark, do you care that you missed the return of the Great Muta who helped Sting?
Nah, you know.
Can I? I watched this part.
Okay. Is that the beginning?
I hate when someone stops for someone entrance music coming in when they're about to murder someone. I hate it. And Muta took even longer than Roman Reigns to get in the ring.
He did.
So Buddy Matthews should have just destroyed Sting. I'll let Muta get me when he gets it.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys, one of the more enjoyable matches that happened on Rampage.
If it comes to this,
Marcus,
I
let me
will
tell
have
you.
to deal with that. But
Marcus,
I have 5 minutes to put my foot into Sting.
Jungle Boy versus Rey Fenix was a really entertaining match.
Excuse me, Eric. Excuse me, Jack Perry versus Rey Fenix.
With that being said, Marcus, what happens after the match?
Jungle Boy.
Marcus, Jungle Boy is in there, and then Christian music hits, right? Christian comes down to the ring. And then next thing you know, Luchasaurus attacks Jungle Boy from behind, right? And so at this point, Christian tells Luchasaurus, all right, kill him. Put him out, right? So at this point, I'm thinking you're about to do something very dastardly to put Jungle Boy out of commission. Marcus, the way Luchasaurus killed Jungle Boy was with a simple choke slam. That's it. Not on no chair. No, just a choke slam. And that was it. They walked away like their job was done.
Yeah, he's a dinosaur. It all out. He it's the old ways, Eric. You don't need. Sometimes he put him on the grill last time and burned his ass. He think those bike marks are still fresh. I'm okay with a simple choke slam and taking him out. Okay, Christian has a fucking dinosaur and he's dangerous. He is like an evil Green Ranger. He blows his flute and it kills Jungle Boy, and I'm all for it.
So then we had Eddie Kingston who beat Sammy Guevara. However, he lost the match because he wouldn't let go of the hold. And the announcers tried to tell me the story. The announcers tried to tell me the story that the referees are trying to get more control of the chaos that's happening in AEW, and that's why the decision was reversed. I just didn't care enough.
Are you expecting to see that call all the time now?
No,
because you've been asking for this shit. No, don't you be mad about this shit. I don't want to hear it. You've been asking for the wrestler. You've been saying this for many, many weeks now that you would like to see the referees reverse the decision because wrestlers are always getting their heat back on all wrestling shows and no one's doing a damn thing about it. So you asked for this, they gave it to you, and now you're gonna bitch.
They did not give it to me the way that I wanted.
Wrestling fan.
No, they didn't give it to me the way I wanted because the referee who called the match. I don't know. The referee that called the match did not reverse the decision. The head referee had to come out and reverse the decision. That bothers me.
It got to you. It got to you anyway. At least they got the call right, Eric. At least they got the call right. That's like you being upset that a pass interference call happened, and you said, "Oh, the guy that was supposed to call it didn't call it," but the head referee was like, "Nah, man, that was really pass interference." Oh, okay, they called it.
And Ross, I will take the goozle because I don't know what a goozle is over a standard choke slam.
It's Taz. Taz would just he grabbed him by the goozle. Stop making Taz references to Ross.
And then the main event was Hobbs versus Starks. Very good main event.
Who won?
Starks won. So technically, I guess the storyline is over. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. That's 50-50. It's 50-50. It's time. We need a rubber match. And the only way to do this, fight pit.
Let me tell you though, because I think the last lights out match I saw was in WWE. I appreciate that in WWE they actually turned the lights off. This one they left the lights on.
I prefer AEW turning lights on, off, and then back on because they're no longer responsible.
The WWE lights out was for children. It was the Wendy Chu, Tiffany Stratton lights out match where they decided to do a very PG idea of what this is about. They just turned the lights down and they had a match and with fucking Legos and a bed. Okay.
Unfortunately,
a
Marcus,
lights out match is a match that you shut the show down and that is unsanctioned. That the referee will have to hide. They're saying that they are not working with AEW or WWE at the time to give this match.
Marcus,
how dare Tiffany Stratton and Winnie to disgrace that type of match?
How dare you bring up that match? Because I erased that match out of mind. When I think of a lights out match, I think of Ciampa versus Gargano that happened in New Orleans. That's because I was there for that one. I forgot about Tiffany.
Lights out match.
It was.
Yeah, they had one. They had one.
Yeah, it was an unsanctioned match. Like the lights was out and it was dark in that arena. It felt good.
I think that one, and then it was what Colin O'Reilly. I think had a unsanctioned match as well.
No, Ross, we do not need an electrified cage. We do not need that in our life. Overall, though, Rampage was a very well wrestled show. It's just that I don't feel like anything had any importance that's going to lead to anything next week, except for now we're just on the road for Adam Page to I guess defeat Jon Moxley, so Jon Moxley can get his vacation that he wanted.
This is answering your question about CM Punk being out of the company. If he went out the company, Hangman Page would not have won this Battle Royal because it's clearly who Tony said signed with.
Yeah, and CM Punk won't drop a title to Hangman Page.
It wouldn't. But something that happened, moving on to Friday Night SmackDown, which I would argue one of the more intense and memorable moments of SmackDown in a long time. That was the opening segment with the Bloodline, where, you know, Sammy came out extremely hyped wearing the old school Bloodline shirt because he ain't never been made a made man. Roman shows up to work. He has Salt Lake City acknowledge him. Heyman cuts his promo, and then shit starts to go south. After Solo acknowledges him, Sammy grabs the mic and he starts talking. And at that point, I thought Sammy was a dead man. Manny, you put Jey Uso up there. Jey was waiting for this moment to whoop Sammy's ass, and he couldn't wait to rip that shirt off. Manny, did you think that was the end of Sammy right then and there?
I felt it. I felt it coming.
Timothy thought so too.
Jey looked too happy at this moment in time. You're like,
yes. When you realize this is a rib on Jey Uso. That the entire bloodline ripped Jey Uso on his hatred towards Sammy because he was so happy to rip that shirt. I went, oh man, they sped this up. They sped this up when this was going down, and then he gave that shirt. I was happy for Sammy. I don't think I should have been.
I was at the edge of my seat. I was like, they are not going to turn on Sammy like this. I was like, what the hell? What? Because Roman played his role so well that he was even, and I never saw the extra shirt anywhere. I don't know where the extra shirt came from. And then
I was thinking about it. If they had it, I wasn't thinking about it.
And then Sammy was made official. He was put on the team. And then I think what even made it even better is when Ricochet and Madcap Moss came talking shit. And let me tell you something. Everybody need to have that boy Solo, who just don't ask any questions. He's a street champion for. He murdered Ricochet. Manny, your hand is up.
So normally we have a segment that what killed Vince this week. This segment is what popped Vince this week.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ricochet.
Yeah, fuck you.
Got him. We got him.
Got him.
Marcus, did you feel that Solo went too far when he banged Ricochet head against for that last time? Because it was a little bit too much.
I immediately thought, oh my God, this neighborhood is not safe anymore. There goes the neighborhood. That Sammy can just walk down there, pick a fight with somebody, and now Solo is going to put bodies on the street. He's going to lay there all these busters down for no reason.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's a regulator.
I imagine an un-PG version of this, and Ricochet and Madcap Moss being gunned down in the middle of the street. And we talking about that shit on the news. You hear what happened to Madcap Moss and Ricochet? Yes, someone killed them. Who got him? I don't know, but I heard it, man. Been Solo Sikoa and Sammy Zayn. What? Yeah, they gunned him down in front of the liquor store on 24th Street.
So it was one thing I was a little worried for Solo because I really wanted Roman to address the fact that he relinquished that title. And I was like, but they decided to make Solo acknowledge him because the elders sent Solo to make sure that Roman.
Me now.
Yeah, and I was like, acknowledge me. I was like, okay, I get it because this is like a whole mafioso because you have Solo and Sammy as their faction. You have Jey, who is just hates Sammy to the utmost respect. He couldn't wait to rip that shirt off. And then you have Jimmy, who was the one who hated Roman, but now it's like the guy who loves everybody because he has to keep his toast buttered because Naomi ain't working right now, so he has to keep his money coming in.
Yeah, I know. If you may call me WWE biased right here, and I don't give a fuck for the whatever reason you call it. AEW had an amazing show. They had a Grand Slam event. It was a top to bottom, had fun on Dynamite. It was probably the best wrestling show of the week. Probably. This segment right here, though. This segment right here.
This segment of the week?
It just, I don't know what it was. It was the feel good, also disgusting segment of the week, at which the heels got even stronger. Like, it was just like, and I think this is one of those segments that's going to put the Bloodline in one of those top factions of all time right there.
But I think it goes to the credit of the character development of who Sami knows who he is. And we all, as wrestling fans, are expecting the eventual turn where either Sami screws over the Bloodline or the Bloodline screws over Sami. And this week we thought that once Solo was added to it, you saw all those Samoan men in there. It was like, we got no more use for you, Sami. We have, and like it could lead to a storyline of Sami getting his crew to take them out. But it didn't happen. He became an honorary Uso. I mean, it was a very feel-good moment. I mean, it compared to someone else who was trying to get the fans to really get behind them, and we're going to go into that match between Liv Morgan and Lacey Evans. Marcus, have you ever jumped through a table just so people could cheer you? And quite frankly, it kind of worked for that audience. They got behind Liv Morgan when she went through that table, but she's trying too hard.
For the way, Eric, I'm a known alcoholic, and yes, that's what you do when you're drunk.
I don't die.
I'm a Bills fan. Oh,
those Bills Mafia videos are hilarious.
Yes, but are we gonna talk about Liv right now in this match with Lacey?
Yeah, you can talk about it. I mean, all I care about, she would put herself through a table. I had nothing else after that part.
She busted her ass.
Speak about busting asses in that Sting match. Julia Hart took the worst bump ever. They said Julia Hart went through the table. Marcus, a little butt shape of the chip came off that table. That was it. She didn't go through the table. She missed the table. A little chip of the table where her ass kind of was broke a bit of that table. So about that much of the table came off.
No, like shout out to Julia Hart. She was dressed like the Undertaker though.
I wanted to laugh.
She jumped those things back too.
I was trying to understand what the referees were trying to tell me. Oh, she extreme. She can get extreme. But what? She can't swing weapons at people? Is that what Liv Morgan's about? I mean, she reminds me of someone that grew up in Jersey. I'm sure she can swing weapons at people. I'm just saying what they were trying to sell me of Liv is basically non-violent and can't get extreme. Was ridiculous. It was like, oh, Liv ain't gangster. She ain't hood. She ain't down with it. She ain't funky. She ain't fresh. That's what basically happened. Shout out to Lacey Evans for existing again, apparently.
But let's talk about WWE and using one of the more meaningless segments of the evening to, I guess, get storylines across. So I'm talking about the whole Hit Row Party. The Hit Row Party had so many things that took place, from the sighting of the White Rabbit QR code to the appearance of the Street Profits, to the Street Profits not acting like real brothers, because guess what? If the Los Lotharios would have came in there super kicking motherfuckers, they would have let Top Dollar get that work. But they didn't. They stopped them. Marcus, you attended a lot of parties. Did the Street Profits mess up?
I don't understand why they held him back.
What was that?
Maybe Top Dollar got his own parole or some shit, and they tried to not get him arrested. I don't see no reason to hold him back. Basically, what happened was that the Los Lotharios shut up the club.
They did.
Why was Natty allowed into this? Because at one point,
in there, and you know she don't like black people.
There was a shot where they were going across who was in the room, and then you overhear Natty go, "I'm the boat," and then they carried on moving.
And then also, my favorite return, dressed in all black before the party even started, was the return of Nakamura. He got some of that drink too. Like, I was like, huh. So we're just gonna bring Nakamura back right here.
I don't know why Nakamura, Hit Row, and the Street Profits all seem like they were chilling together.
Marcus,
I imagine a lot of weed. Being smoked in that room.
Good vibrations, man.
He start pantomiming in the room, like, man, he fucking crazy as shit. But people be like, "Yo, he cool though."
Although I didn't want to have any part to deal with this match, but Otis versus Braun Strowman was actually an entertaining match because it was just meat on meat. I mean, it happens.
Good big man match. It was a really good big man match.
It was that.
Good, like you said, big meaty man fighting each other. And Braun looked like, he looked like it looks like a new version of Braun Strowman. I do miss the choo-choo train.
I cannot get behind a man dressed like a Christmas elf wearing red pants. I just can't.
He looks like a buff Santa Claus, Eric.
I don't know. But then we got the main event.
What is Santa Claus? Some people out there like, that's not Santa Claus.
Yeah. Then we got the main event, the Brawling Brutes.
Pumping, grinding, and banging in the gym.
Versus the Usos, which I thought was a very good match. And then you have Imperium come down to the ring. And you have all these other teams. Like, a lot of stuff happened with the Usos retaining. I know WWE has a problem because they have no idea how to get these titles off of the bloodline. And no one has a solid answer. But Manny, what did you think about the main event being a tag match to close it out?
I was surprised that it went as good as it could have been, given that Ridge was in this match. I was surprised because I thought Ridge spots would have been worse, but I thought the match came across really well. I didn't have a problem with it. I think it was a good way to end SmackDown, but you knew for a fact that those titles were never in jeopardy.
Wait a minute, Manny. I'm going to chime in here. You were concerned about Ridge. Is your concern since he injured Big E?
Not that he injured Big E. I just don't think he's ready.
I remember at one point you were high on him.
I was high on him, but high in the fact that he should be good in NXT. He should have stayed down there for a little bit longer. I think there's still more that he could learn, but maybe that's being sped up by being on the road with Sheamus. Maybe it is.
I think the more important thing about the entire match that took place was the announcement that in 2 weeks we're getting Sheamus versus Walter Part 2 on SmackDown, which should be a very exciting time.
I don't want to SmackDown
because you don't want commercial breaks, huh, Manny?
I don't want commercial breaks. I want the full match. So put it at Extreme Rules or whatever. Don't
Manny,
put it
you might get what you asked for, because if I'm correct, they're treating this as the season premiere of SmackDown. They might do that match commercial free. You never know, because they have done that from time to time.
You know what they're gonna do, Eric. You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna put it in that little box, and we're not gonna be able to hear anything, and you're gonna be like that, and then you're gonna be like, damn, I hate this fucking picture-in-picture.
Oh,
they're not. But I am still looking forward to Sheamus, or as they like to call him, Old Shamo, and Gunther go at it one more time, one more game.
I almost forgot something that they announced is that Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre will be competing.
How do you forget this? How do you forget this? I see. Go ahead.
How does she miss a fireball?
Marcus, that's Marcus.
I'll tell you what I saw. I'll tell you what I saw.
I appreciate them selling the fact that she missed the fireball. I mean, she was so busy with protecting her man that she clearly missed, and Drew was okay. He didn't put all that hair product in his hair because he could have had a Michael Jackson situation. However, I don't think Karrion is ready for a strap match.
Let me describe to you, brother, what I saw in this segment. One, anybody throwing a fireball at somebody is immediately my second favorite segment of the week. If it wasn't for Sammy the Oos, this would be number one. But this is my second favorite moment of the week because
she missed. How could this be a good segment?
I don't care. They make me laugh either way. I don't care if it's Chris Jericho throwing it. I don't care if it's Scarlett throwing it. I don't care if it's Hogan botching one with the Underwear. Fireballs make me laugh because it's ridiculous that they have fireball attack and they just be like, fire, and then it missed. And you know what? You can say that maybe she did miss and she didn't blind him like she did Keith Lee, but she can sell that if someone threw a fireball at me, that's freaking me out for a bit. I don't give a fuck who they are. Like, she threw that shit out, missed, and then. By the way, watching Karrion Kross get his ass whipped by Drew McIntyre brought a smile to my face. And also seeing Karrion Kross choke out Drew McIntyre as Scarlett crawls over them. I will bet you 1,000% she's watched that man fuck another man in front of her. I'm just saying. That's the way she looked. That's the way she looked. If this wasn't on TV, she watched him fuck another man.
Manny, let me ask the question because Marcus went off to a deep well. Let me ask this question.
She's gonna put that on her OnlyFans.
Fireball or nut shot? Which one do you go to? Which one you think is more successful?
She hit that nut shot with venom.
Yeah, because Maddie, because she was pissed because she missed the fireball. Come on, man.
No. I've never seen a nut shot make someone convulse like they can't breathe anymore. Like what Drew was selling.
Marcus has kicked me about nuts and made me feel that way before.
Hold
so I know.
Manny. I have had a nut shot, and this is a legendary nut shot that Ryan still gloats about to this day because he's a piece of shit. Here we are watching Hell's Kitchen in my room. This guy has the DirecTV remote control, which apparently weighs 100 pounds. He is across the room, throws it with perfect trajectory, and lands while I'm watching TV and not looking, flat on my nuts at 100 miles per hour. I immediately go, oh, flip over a stool and fall to the ground and convulse for about 2 to 3 minutes. Ryan said I was down for 10 minutes. It's not true, but that is fucking painful. And I imagine that's what that nut shot was when Drew McIntyre got it. Like, oh, she really done did it. She done did it. But I know Drew McIntyre was okay because I word on the street is during the commercial break, Tyson Fury jumped the rail and they sang songs together.
You know,
Sweet
shout out to the assholes and the idiots that decided to steal the Boo Boo Baron's car and did not know how to work it because they stole it and they couldn't restart because they don't know what the menu is. We've all been there with Ryan's car. You got to do a lot of shit.
You didn't get the finish of the story, huh?
I know it was at the tow yard, but I don't know what happened afterwards.
Oh, they found the body.
Huh?
Yeah, they found a body in this car.
A body?
Yeah, a dead body.
Really?
Yeah.
A dead one?
The plot thickens.
Shit.
Yep.
I don't know about that one, but I'm about to call the Boo Boo Bear and find out because he can never get that car back.
Tune in to Law and Order to
clunk clunk
get the final part.
We do have an email, and it comes from Paper Tyler, who was in the chat room. He says, "Hey Sharpies, I made a point of tuning in live this week. I don't get a chance to catch all of your shows during the week, but I always try to make a point of listening to the main show. Just wanted to show some love. Glad Marcus managed to fire you up last week, Eric. Keep on hating. P.S. What happened to the Sharpshooters draft? What happened to the Sharpshooters draft? I thought we was going to redraft with Manny being included. What happened?
No. It's not a redraft. We did draft. We drafted a release date of talent, and then you said, okay, we'll review this in 90 days. We never went back to see what happened to these people. Like a year and a half later, and we could say who won that draft. So
if Manny wasn't, I can pull it up, but I know Manny stretched for time. So I don't.
I'm stretched for time. We can do this on another day.
Okay. Well, we will revisit.
How about this? We save it and release it at the end of the year for one of our random specials for our holiday specials. As long as with the 18-hour.
Basically, what we're saying is we're going to release it because we want to take Christmas off. Okay, people, we're going to produce some content for you to watch, so you don't miss us.
Or if people want to sign up to a Patreon that doesn't exist, maybe we can make exclusive content for that. And shout out to everybody who watched my unboxing video. You know, I'm always a little nervous when I do stuff. But as Manny says, just do it and just let the chips fall the way that it is. Although Mark is salty that people watch the unboxing video.
I didn't watch it because he doesn't watch the best of. But from the little minor preview I hovered over the thumbnail, Eric, you shouldn't be recording videos with a reflection of your chin like that.
Manny, that is the downfall. That is the downfall of ordering the middle model of the Steam Deck. Because it doesn't have the reflective screen blocker.
That was everything really was unflattering angle for you.
Manny, I know it was. I know everything was unflattering about that.
Why were you naked in that video? Why?
I had a t-shirt on.
Naked?
No, I had a t-shirt on. I was not naked. Manny, why was you watching the video so intently in a reflection?
In case you were naked.
The best of. I want you to watch the best of. That's all I want.
I was watching the video and I was watching it in public. And I was just, watching it. And I said, oh, shit, this is one of Eric videos. He made unboxing, said maybe a dick in a box. I am walking away. And I stopped it so no one thought I was watching anything you were doing.
Well, Marcus, I thought that you would watch it just for the simple reason that when you saw me dealing with a dangerous knife, that I was going to cut myself with the knife. Because when Shantae watched it last night, she was like, Eric, did you cut yourself with the knife? Because everybody knows how cagey I am with a knife. I'm not the best.
No, I never assumed you were going to cut yourself with a knife.
How do you not know how to use a knife or get one of those boxing cutters?
No. Manny, this is a legendary knife. This is the knife of our grandfather.
Oh shit! It's a Toro Hanzo sword. What is this?
This
knife you got?
This knife right here is so stiff and so thick that to pull it out and put it back in is very hard. So
can you open it up, Eric?
Why don't you just get one for opening boxes?
Hold on, can you open it up, Eric? Please, can you open the knife up, please?
I can't.
You know what? I'm gonna say that is not a good knife. You wanna know why? Take too long. You know what I use knives for? Sniffing cocaine. I need it to flip open.
That looks like a cocaine knife.
It does, man. I don't know what hear the stories about our grandfather. God knows how much coke was done off of this knife right here. We just don't know. I mean, for all we know, this could have DNA.
Wait a minute.
Marcus?
Your grandfather barely, well, he had drinks, but I don't think he did the coke.
Marcus, also remember, grandmother said that she took a knife. Remember, she took a knife, put it in somebody's leg, and pulled it down. This could be that very knife.
That could be the murder weapon.
We don't know. We don't know because that's what made them relocate from Texas to California.
Yeah, Eric, that could be the long evidence that they needed for a cold case for many years, and you fucking just have it to open your fucking Steam box with it. You son of a bitch! Turn it into the FBI.
No, I'm okay. I ain't no snitch. No, we cannot start selling Sharpie branded knives because I'll cut myself with them. Oh, shout out to Jamal and Genesis for purchasing merch. That was also very nice of them.
You knew that they bought that stuff.
I know, but you know, every time you see a picture, it's like, wow, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. They're part of the brands. They're happy that they bought merch. Unlike you, who never have bought merch from me.
I have bought merch, man. I wore it last week on the show.
I know. Eric, I know. I'm just messing around.
Anyway, last question before. Are you guys excited about this whole White Rabbit teasing that they keep doing, or are you going to be disappointed?
Yeah.
Well, who you got? Who you got?
First of all, I hate looking at fan stuff, but I will point out that I really love that whole thing about how Karrion Kross and all these are the real life versions of the Funhouse. I would love for them to be that to be the whole thing. I know it's not the case. I can only imagine it's Bray. It has to be Bray Wyatt, right? It has to.
Well, I'm going to talk about something a little bit more interesting in this new brand of knives that we're getting to the Sharpie business. I don't believe we can go by Sharpie knives, although I am intrigued if the market company will sue us. People are talking about people may mix us up with the Sharpie and Sharpie knives. They're completely different. Just ours are more permanent.
Yeah. Well, Ross, with your winnings, you can invest into the prototype for the Sharpie knife. Come on,
put that man's business out there.
Yeah. So, Manny, Sharpie knives. Is our commercial going to be us stabbing kilos of cocaine and going Sharpie knives?
Marcus.
It'll be us walking around Costco cutting up bags of flour and sugar and stuff.
Ready? Or better yet, going around Costco. Oh, you got a sample? I just want half of the sample. And cutting the sample in half is like, leave this for somebody else. Like those assholes who take half of a donut out the box. Take the whole fucking donut. No one wants your half.
Take the whole donut. I only want to eat a half. Duh. You touched it already.
Even if you just want to eat the fucking half, take that half and throw it away. Because now when you get to that box, it might be the donut that you wanted. And now you have to think about to yourself, man, did they touch that donut with their hand or not? And you just have to walk away from it. Fuck those people.
You're caught up on Game of Thrones, right?
I am. I mean, House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. And you know how they talked about how Rhaenyra done had sex and they ruined her?
Yeah.
That's how I feel like when they get those donuts.
Yeah, right. That's how the donut is when they have it. That's like a ruined Rhaenyra.
You're fucking ruined.
Hey, can I tell you my favorite meme that I saw was like when everybody talked about Cersei and Jaime having a relationship is but everybody like with Rhaenyra and Daemon in a relationship, it's like, all right, it happens. Like everybody's okay with it. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
I think Jey Uso's face would be more appropriate. Look what they do. That was them at that party, at that wedding.
Okay, my question is, in Jey Uso's look, Manny, what do you think he's saying in his head?
I'm gonna kill this fool.
Marcus, what about you?
I'm gonna say something that's probably politically incorrect, but this nigga here is gonna die. I don't have to kill this nigga. That's the only thing. Like it looked like he about to catch a case. It looks like he about like this would be the footage on the documentary when they show Sammy Happy and they cut and they zoom in on some random old photo of somebody that they did.
And I think what he's thinking is that it would be a shame if you miss out on all the content that they're producing on the Sharpshooters Network. Make sure you check out the Untitled Mania Market Show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, everything else on Wednesday, and Raw is Retro on Fridays, and the very sporadic The Shoot, where I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. Once again, we appreciate every one of you who subscribes, listen to the show. We really appreciate what you do.
This is brought Jay back to the drink.
And on that note, we out.
We out. Peace. I thought we was out, Manny. I can't stop the recording. Are we out or we not out?
Yeah, we out.
We ain't out.